Hello NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of The Rundown. On this week's show, we'll highlight Hiram's dramatic 74-72 victory over number 4 Ohio Wesleyan, Kenyon senior Tim Connolly's career day in the Lord's 74-62 triumph over Allegheny, and finally Wooster senior Lauren Hancher's 20-point, 8-rebound performance in the Scots' 52-50 win over Oberlin. To open this week's show, we'll head down to Hiram, Ohio, where the Terriers pulled off the 74-72 upset over OWU last Saturday thanks to the late-game heroics of sophomore Kelvin Jones. After the Bishops tied the game at 72 with 23 seconds left on a three-pointer from Claude Gray, Hiram senior J.J. Woodson drove to the hoop on this set play and erratically threw up a desperation heave that caromed off the backboard and into the waiting hands of a slashing Kelvin Jones for the game-winning bucket. Woodson led all scorers in the game with a career-high 29 points, while Jones was a force on the glass the entire game with a season-best 14 rebounds. The win pushed Hiram's league record to 2-1, which puts them in a four-way tie for second place with Allegheny, Ohio Wesleyan, and Wooster, while Wittenberg holds a slight half-game lead over the Pack with a 3-1 mark against league foes. The NCAC Men's Basketball Player of the Week selection last week went to Kenyon senior guard Tim Connolly, who erupted for a career-high 32 points in Kenyon's 74-62 victory over Allegheny. Connolly, who hails from San Francisco, California, shot 8 of 14 overall in the win, which included a 5 of 11 effort from three-point range and a perfect 11 of 11 showing from the free throw line. His stat line also included 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Through his first 7 games of the season, Connolly leads the NCAC in scoring at 19.7 points per game and is second overall in assists per game at 4.9. In women's hoops action, Wooster senior Lauren Hancher picked up the NCAC weekly honor after helping lift the Scots to their first league win since the 2013-14 season in a 52-50 triumph over Oberlin last week. Hancher, who is a graduate of Sycamore High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, scored 10 straight points as part of an early 12-0 run and went on to finish the game with 20 points to lift the Scots to the 2-point victory. She finished the game by shooting 10 of 22 from the field to go along with tallying 8 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 assists, and 1 block shot. Hancher has consistently been a hot starter for Wooster this year, as she has now scored 8 or more points in the first period in 3 straight games. There is minimal action across the NCAC this week in both men's and women's basketball, as most institutions are in the final exam period of the fall semester. However, several teams will be back in action between Christmas and New Year's for non-conference games, while the league schedule is set to resume in earnest on the first week of January. And as always, NCAC sports fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can visit our website at www.northcoast.org. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. Well, that puts a wrap on this week's show, but be sure to join us in the new year for another edition of The Rundown.